Greetings and welcome to this week's Just Talk with all the usual channel news and analytics stuff in the week in which I have not really been around very much, as you may or may not have noticed. A lot of comments I haven't been able to reply to yet. I have that on my job list today to go through, but there is a lot of comments. We've had a massive spike in comments. Maybe we'll see that when we have a look in the analytics. But anyway, let's move on. Subscribers 1,345 continues to go up. I've done a little bit of publicity this week, but not very much. As I said, I've had a really busy week. I had some opportunities crop up, which I have capitalized upon, which unfortunately has taken me away from the channel and channel-based activities. I managed to get most of the videos out. There was no video on Thursday, which means we've had no city skylines this week, and we've only had one Juney space program, Kerbal Space Program, sorry. Juney 1 and a bit video. I had kind of hoped that I would be able to start doing multiple episodes of that a week. Whether I'll be able to get on that or not, we will have to see. Time will tell. Certainly, I'm probably going to have at least another week or two of being very busy. But I'm going to try and make sure I can spare the time for doing it. I've actually managed to record a fair amount of stuff. I just haven't had the opportunity to edit it yet. So I've got a fair amount of recordings of both cities and Kerbal Space Program, and some other bits and pieces, so hopefully that should take the pressure off a little bit this week and I can just focus on doing the editing when I get time. Alright, so analytics. We're still on these little red arrows, but things are definitely improving, although as expected the last couple of days listed there, that's Thursday, Friday I believe. Fairly poor results for those 2 days, but no video released on Thursday, so it's hardly surprising. And Friday, Retro Friday Rune, continuing to not do very well, but I have resolved that I'm going to finish it out, and I may, when I have the time, release other stuff on Fridays in addition to it, but I'm definitely going to finish the Rune series, and it's probably only got another 2 or 3 episodes before that happens anyway, so yeah, that'll be good. Let's take a look in a little bit more detail then. So yeah, this is like Friday, Thursday, pretty low, down to 4 hours and 35 minutes, possibly the lowest in a very long time, and that's actually on Friday with Rune. Although I think it was fairly late in the day that I actually released it. So, but like I say, it's entirely understandable considering no release on Thursday either. 9 hours, that's kind of like more or less around our resting level. Had a couple of big peaks actually, 19 hours and 18 hours there on the first and second respectively. Going back a little bit there as well, we've also had a peak of 19 hours, 20 hours. So I mean, we're getting a few spikes, which is good. If we take a look at the not subscribed first, then actually, follows a similar kind of trend. We've still got a peak here in the non-subscribed views, and it's definitely tailing off towards the end of the week there. But this is also because I was doing less and less publicity as the week went on last week, so in this last week past anyway. So, inevitably it started to tail off a little bit there. And subscribed. Well, look at that. there was... possibly Adam continuing to work his way through my entire back catalogue. Maybe a few others of you have been inspired to look back at some of the older videos as well. So that's good to see. It's interesting. It's always nice to get a little peek like that. And we will see how that sort of like pans out going forward. But yeah, very good nonetheless. Let's go back to subscribed and not subscribed. Demographics, oh look, we've fallen a little bit there. Our female audience share has fallen a little bit. If you are a female and you have stopped watching videos, then you're probably not going to be watching this one. But on the off chance anybody has any advice, by all means leave a comment and let me know. If we take a look at the countries again, because this is always a bit of fun, isn't it? Top geographies. This is for combined subscribed and not subscribed. United States, look at that. United States only just pipping the UK now. The UK's come back quite a lot in the non-subscribed and subscribed, the combined figures here, which means it's probably extended its lead in the subscriber views, which we'll take a look at in a minute. Germany there, a strong third place. I know I've got a couple of the subscribers are German, and there's been a very long conversation going on a couple of the threads that have referenced that, which I have taken note of, which is cool. As always, very good. Canada, Netherlands, France, Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Belgium, Australia, and the rest. Let's take a quick look at the subscribe then. There you go. Yeah, UK. Look at that. Wow, like twice the views from the United States. I can't remember what the United States views were last week for subscribed figures, but has that fallen? That may have fallen. 1,837. Am I losing my American viewers? It's possible. Maybe that American accent I put on back during the Happy Wheels video has had some kind of knock-on impact. Hopefully not. Hopefully nobody took offence. I certainly didn't intend any offence. United States, Germany, Finland, Canada, Denmark, New Zealand, and so on and so forth. I really should like familiarise myself with the previous figures so that I can compare and contrast. US obviously still top of the pile for non-subscribed views, though, for sort of like fresh discovery and things. 747 views, 51 minutes watched. Very, very good. United Kingdom, strong second place there. Good average view duration. It's good. It's all looking pretty good. It's all looking pretty interesting. Anything else we want to have a look at? This is going to be another, like a fairly quick video this week as opposed to normal. I was going to say another, but normally I ramble on forever. Gender, 6%, 94%. That's for non-subscribed. Discovery, oh yeah, so we've got the YouTube search, 25%. I think that's a slight fall, isn't it? Let's take a look at that for non-subscribed. 36%, actually, if anything, that's a slight rise. I think it was 33% before, wasn't it? Which is probably at least in part because I haven't been doing as much publicizing, and therefore people haven't been finding the channel through those sources as much. And so the YouTube searches, although they may be less in total than they were last time, are a higher percentage of the overall traffic sources. At least that's what I'm going to assume anyway. Audience retention, just in case we've got anything we need to be aware of. We do have a bit of a drop here. Look, down to 2 minutes 37 seconds for that's the Friday and the Thursday. I think this is Friday and Thursday, isn't it? It's the 4th, and today's the 7th. So 4th is Thursday. 4th, Thursday, Friday. But generally speaking, you know, it's not dropped particularly lower than you know, most of these low peak areas, so that's fine. Let's take a look at the subscribed. Subscribed is down a bit, actually. Look, I mean, we had again, this is probably people going back and watching the back catalogue, and they will tend to watch all the way through videos, whereas normal subscriber viewing isn't always going to be quite so generous. 46% average view duration, though, is I think very good. Perfectly happy with that. All right, subscribers. Right, so there we go. -1 subscriber on Thursday, and 6 subscribers. A little bit of a bounce back on Friday, but generally speaking, you can see, look, like here, these were like the big spikes where I was doing publicity. I didn't really do that last week. There was a little kind of mini spike early in the week, and then, like I say, Thursday I did nothing at all on Thursday, including releasing a video, which I really should apologize for. I'm sorry. I do normally try and you know, I hold myself to the standard that I kind of decided I was going to release a video every day, and with the revised schedule it was going to be a video every weekday with Just Talks on Saturday or Sunday. And you know, and that's I failed to do that this week. I still did do 5 videos in the end because I got a video out on Saturday, so instead of Thursday I got a video out on Saturday, and now Just Talk, of course, today. So I've kind of I've kind of met my own minimum standard, but you know, I would prefer it if I was exceeding my standard, not simply meeting it. But Thursday was just one of those days. Like the little time I had left to work on the channel and stuff after everything else, I was just not in the headspace to be able to do it justice. It's basically what it came down to. I did a little bit of recording, and I wasn't really feeling it, and then it came time to sort of edit, and I needed to do like post commentary bits and stuff, and I just couldn't. I couldn't get myself into the zone, you know. And there's no point, I think, of releasing a video in which I'm not enjoying the process making it. You know, I think that'll come across. I think you will notice in the commentary, you know, in the delivery and all the rest of it, if I'm not enjoying it, if I'm forcing myself to do it. then I think that'll come across. So, you know, in that situation, I would rather do what I did on Thursday, which is basically say, right, you know what, I'm not going to do a video today. I will take the day off, and you know, from the channel. Obviously, it wasn't a day off overall, but it was a day off from the channel. So that is what happened, and I hope nobody minds too much. I'm sure, you know, I'm sure you will understand. This is, you know, as of course we all know, this is a hobby, not a job at the moment, and therefore, you know, it has to conform to other things that are happening in my life at the time, and other things inevitably will take priority when they crop up, as they have done. So there you go. That's the story of the Thursday -1 subscriber, and hopefully it's not going to be. We're probably not going to be back to this level anytime soon, unless my secret plan works out, but hopefully we'll get back to at least sort of like ticking over on the publicity a little bit more for the next week or so. Good. Likes and dislikes. It's an interesting looking chart, this, isn't it? A big spike up here. Look, on the first 19 likes, possibly when Duna 1 came out. I'd have to double check that. The Duna 1 episode, and then sort of like it's almost like a straight line decline here down to Thursday. 3 likes on Thursday. I guess that's people, you know, looking at content that should have been previously uploaded. 1 dislike. I don't know where that is. That the I think that's an old dislike. I don't think I need to worry about that. Good comments. Now look at this. Look at this ridiculous spike. You know who you are. Those of you who contributed to the juggernaut that became, I think it was actually the last Just Talk video, just picked up a conversation going on between a few of the regulars, and you know, yeah, look at that, 105 comments, fantastic, awesome. I love it when people. It was really interesting actually following it. I'm sorry I didn't have the time to join in more with that over the course of the week. It was one of the interesting things to kind of follow, was the ongoing conversations that were happening on the comments threads. Also had a problem with my phone this week, which had an impact on my ability to sort of join in with the comments. But as I said, job list today is to go back to the beginning of the comments, and I probably won't reply to them all because of the sheer quantity, especially those that were not addressed to me, as it were, like people talking to each other. But I will try, and you know, I really do value the comments a lot, and it's one of the things I've actually felt quite bad about, that I've not been able to find the time to jump on and do it. So that will be happening today. Probably it will already have happened by the time this video goes live, in actual fact. Good, right, sharing. Oh yeah, we don't know what that does. We don't look at it anymore, do we? Annotations, this is all unimportant. Let's quickly take a look at the video manager. I don't really have a lot of channel news to talk about this week, other than the fact that I've been really busy, and that busyness will probably continue on for the next week or two. But like I said, that will have less of an impact on the videos that are going out, I think, because I just need to get to grips with it a little bit, and make sure that I take opportunities like today to do bulk recording, and then editing. As long as I do a decent recording in the first place, editing is not too difficult. If I've done a slightly shonky recording, then editing obviously takes a lot more time and effort and energy. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see, won't we? But I will certainly try. I'm quite happy with this. This was the video I released yesterday. The little walk around. It was a fairly easy video to make. I actually spent quite a bit of time yesterday doing the Minion Village as well. It was probably a wasted bit of time to be, well, not wasted. Wasted is the wrong word. I could probably have done more important things with that time, to be fair. Like, I just intended to do the interiors quickly, tidy up the village a little bit, and then do the walkthrough. But actually, as it happened, I kind of wound up spending quite a bit of time putting in new buildings, faffing about with the terrain quite a bit. I started getting really into it. I was really enjoying it, which is why I kept doing it. And I'm quite pleased with the way the Minion Village is looking. It's suddenly, for me, starting to look like a village, like an actual place, you know, especially with the addition of the few extra buildings that I just kind of like quickly did. It's starting to feel like that main street's got a bit of substance to it. When you're in that main street, you can feel like you're in the middle of a larger place. A lot more buildings need to go in. A few people have said it's starting to turn into a town. That's not a town. Come on. I mean, in video game terms, maybe, but it's one of my bugbears has always been in video games like Skyrim. Skyrim, fantastic game. Absolutely love that game to bits, but the scale of the cities especially really bugs me. They're not cities, they're villages. You know, Whiterun is a village, it's not a city. The little villages are probably, you know, realistically scaled hamlets for that kind of era. Like, you know, a hamlet would probably only have a few houses in it. But yeah, so the Minion village is probably going to get a reasonable amount bigger than it currently is. Maybe it will reach town status at some point. I'm not sure if there's actually room for it to grow into a town in that bit of valley that it nestles in, but I guess we will see. Retro Friday Rune, look, a mighty 17 views. It continues to grow, ever less popular. As ironically, I'm enjoying the series and making it, and the actual end result more and more. I think it's a much stronger. I think this is a much stronger episode, just because it's got like other human characters, if you will, and kind of like the story started to kick in a bit more and. I don't know. It's probably just me. Anyway, I'm going to run the series to its completion because I'm enjoying making it, and I think it'll. I think that's important. You know, I think that's probably one of the most important things in actual fact. Rocket Pets Weird Wednesdays episode, a flash game. Not the best. If anybody knows of any like cool or quirky flash games or free games and stuff like that I can make quick videos of for Weird Wednesday, I'd love to hear suggestions for things. I will sort of keep looking. I'm going to do other stuff. It's not just going to be flash games on Weird Wednesday, of course. I've got one that I'm planning for this week, which is not a flash game, and then I've got also I'd like to do. Well, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that with the people involved. But there's other ideas that I've got for doing Weird Wednesdays, but it's always nice to have like quick flash games that I can do, because again, it can be a very quick video to make. Potentially, it can be basically first playthrough, you know, recorded in one take, just see what it's like, and chuck it up. Although it may not make the best video in the world, it's quick and it's easy, and usually, and you know, and it can be quite a lot of good. It can be quite a lot of fun. So there you go. Good. 2 Minion Village episodes this week, actually, interestingly. Look, there you go. I'd kind of forgotten that I'd done the second part of Windmill Rock Farm. Was that Tuesday? And then Monday was the Juney 1 and a bit. Loving making the Juney series. There is loads more to come in it. I've already done a whole load of recording, but it is the nature of Kerbal Space Programs that it takes a long time to record things, because you have to cut out, you know, considerable chunks to make it work, and there's like the entire design phase of the rockets that has to get cut out or very, very, you know, condensed, and you know, and all sorts of other stuff. And then there's, you know, like there's sort of experimentation for these sorts of things where I'm kind of like, you know, I'll do a take and like for the most part I'll leave things in, like if a rocket fails and blows up, that's good, that's entertaining, you know, like that'll be left in. Or if I reach orbit, well, it's kind of like, say if I plan a mission and I reach orbit and it takes me ages to get there, and then I get there and then I discover that I've forgotten to put, I don't know, like a solar panel on it or something, and the thing runs out of electricity and the mission fails, I may revert that type of thing, just because it's not, depending on the narrative, depending on the way it works, it may or may not be very entertaining for a mission to fail for a silly reason, you know, like for I just forgot to click that, or I forgot to put that on it, or whatever. So sometimes things will be left in, sometimes they won't. But my point I'm getting at is just it takes a long time to record stuff, and it takes a long time to edit stuff. But that, you know, the flip side of that is it's hugely enjoyable for me to make, and hopefully it makes fairly good content. So there will be plenty more of this to come. Good, right, you know what, I mean, you know, that goes back, that's this week, I've covered this week. I think that is probably all we need to do for the time being. Turns out it's been a 20-minute episode anyway. Go figure, probably a little bit less because there's a couple of things I can take out. But basically, that's it. Alright, well, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Sorry again for this week. I will try and do better this coming week. There will definitely be Kerbal Space Program, Juney 1 and a bit. There will definitely be Skitty Skylines. That has not been abandoned or anything. It was just like, it just didn't make it, basically, is what it comes down to. Yeah, and of course, you know, everything else will keep going along. And if possible, I will try and catch up a little bit, but no promises on that, because like I said, I am going to be very, very busy for the next 1 or 2 weeks. And after that, hopefully the schedule should get back to like, you know, a bit more of a manageable level for me, and I'll be able to dedicate more time to the channel once again. Great, fantastic. Right, well, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.